Good evening. My name is David Marcano, and I will be presenting Best Buy's proposal for global expansion into the country of Brazil. But before we go into this analysis, let me state that the global expansion efforts undertaken by Best Buy stems from Best Buy's operations throughout calendar year 2021. During 2021, Best Buy secured $47.262 billion in comparison to its revenue stream of 2020 of 43,638. Unfortunately, this increase, though modest, represented an 8.3% from its prior year, but yet it's considered to be a negative variance from an industry standpoint of negative 5.36% or about $2.7 billion loss from operations. The problem that Best Buy is encountering is that the market they engage in, the North American market, which is composed of North America and Canada, is heavily saturated and is in need of securing a second revenue stream. The considerations taken to go into South America are as follows. We looked at three countries: Chile, Brazil, and Peru. The analysis that was taken for these countries were as such. We evaluated them on five distinct points. The first point is the stability of the government, inflation, corruption, possession of its infrastructure, and what type of market they're in. So in Brazil's case, they're ranked seventh in gross domestic product. They have a stable government despite its corruption, which is at 38, which is relatively low for most of the South America region. Inflation by the year's end will be below 5%, and that is critical because Brazil was able to control inflation much quicker than the United States. Its infrastructure is highly developed, and also it is the largest consumer market in South America. In relationship to Chile, who ranks first in gross domestic product, they have a stable government. Inflation is at 4.5. The corruption index is modestly low at 67. They possess a highly developed infrastructure, and their consumer market is ranked eighth for the region. Peru, on the other hand, they do have a stable market. The inflation rate is at 3.9%. The corruption index is at 36, similar to that of Brazil. However, the downfall is that their infrastructure lacks development, and the consumer market is ranked eighth. Based on these criteria, Brazil is the leading candidate for our expansion efforts simply because their consumers, specifically their middle class, is on the rise. In calendar year 2020, they outspent China, Russia, and Colombia. The Brazilian middle class income has risen to almost 27,000 reales, which is equivalent to a middle income here in the United States. Based on these three figures, and of course the stability of their government, it is recommended that Brazil is selected as the country of choice for our expansion efforts. We will also need, the cost is $63 million, and we expect the rate of return, or rather the break even point, to be anywhere between 5 to 10 years. Thank you so much for allowing me to present my findings, and I look forward to your approval in undertaking this new joint venture. Thank you.